And we do have Maddie Price with us, who we've gotten to know you last year. You had a very touching, moving story, and I'm reminded that you've already, at the age of 16, gone through more than most people should ever go through in their entire life.
For sure.
I mean, surviving, we'll get into the story, but it really is you being physically in front of us and full of energy and full of life and, doing a heart walk, last week. That is the proof of the miracles that happen here each and every day and the exact reason that we're here. It really is. It wasn't that long ago that somebody that had been through what you've been through wouldn't have made it. And it's because years ago people gave, which led to better research, which led to cures, which led to better treatment, and that's why you're here. And you're the exact living proof of why we're doing what we're doing today. So for those of you that don't know the story, and I guess we could probably start with Mom, we all think that happens to other people. It doesn't happen to us. It happens to other people. So when it does happen to us, that moment you know something's wrong, let's go back to that moment and walk us through kind of, Maddie's story. We find out, we know something's not right. Let's start there.
Absolutely. So I was the last of 3 sisters to be pregnant. My sisters had 6 boys between them, all of them incredibly healthy. And Maddie was the last. She was the only girl, so she was the youngest and the only girl, and had a great pregnancy. And after day 1, she was born in the old Dunedin Hospital here locally. We realized very quickly, once the NICU physician came in, that Maddie had started turning blue. And again, for us, after 6 healthy nephews, we were pretty shocked. And she was quickly taken to the hospital, spent the first probably 8 weeks of her life in the hospital. She had her first of her open heart surgeries at 9 days old.
Can you imagine?
What is that like as a parent to watch your 9-day-old baby go back into surgery for open heart surgery?
It's pretty shocking. It's more than anything. You just have to put a lot of faith in your belief and really know that wherever you take your child, that they're going to have the best care. And obviously for us, over the last 16 years, the majority of her life has been spent right here at Johns Hopkins All Children's. And so that faith in your hospital becomes a part of who your family is every day.
Wow. So you just recently had your second heart transplant?
Yes.
When was that?
That was June 1st of this year.
Of this year. And
So-
look at you sitting here smiling, happy,
doing
energetic.
amazing.
This is
Yes.
unbelievable. What was that like for you to have to go through that?
Well, I didn't really remember it when I was younger, but now that I, have a great group of friends and I have this hospital that, it's like my second home, it was awesome just to know that it was going to be okay and I didn't have to worry. And it was obviously a lot of pressure and it was a lot of things that was going on, but just knowing that everyone was here, it was just amazing.
So you had a comfort level then.
Oh, yes.
That made it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple heart attacks, valve replacements, God knows how many tests. And here you are. You're here. We're here. We're smiling. We've got energy. We're doing heart walks. We're designing T-shirts. That is the exact living proof of the work that this hospital does day in and day out. And that's exactly why we need to continue to give so that all children can continue to do what they do.
And Loren is here with you. And Loren, I understand as a child life specialist, it's your job to kind of help guide kids through this process, help them feel the comfort level that Maddie says she feels. So tell me a little bit about what you do and how you do that job.
We do so many different things, but for Maddie, it was spending a lot of time with her, just doing therapeutic interventions, whether it was her favorite was coloring and lots of colored pencils of all nature. We incorporated a program called Beads of Courage into her, which basically tells her story with beads. And did a lot of creative things and just kind of keeping her spirits up, helping her understand what's going to happen, what's happening, and just being there, supporting.
Jenny, I would tell you, Maddie was here 7 months this year. So from February to September, we were here waiting for the transplant, and then we had a couple of months of recovery. And without child life, I have to say that I wouldn't have survived, So it's for the patient, but for the families, she was an incredible comfort. And child life just really plays a big role here at the hospital to be there for the patient and the family.
Yeah, that's the other part of this care that, it's one thing to do a heart transplant or a valve replacement or whatever the treatment may be. But there's a whole nother level of care that happens here because, those are all great things and those are amazing things. But that is the different level that you get at Johns Hopkins All Children's, is that there is that whole other layer that helps the parents. It also helps the patient get through it because, this isn't an easy, think about this for a second. We talk about it as if, we had a heart transplant, we replaced some valves, and we can kind of do that because, treatment has gotten to that point, but it really wasn't that long ago that what they're doing now and what Maddie's gone through wasn't a thing at all. And so we're glad you exist. We're glad you're here smiling.
Yes.
Thank you.
But again, I know I sound repetitive, but it's because people gave money years ago, which allowed research to happen, treatment to happen, and that's why we have success stories like Maddie, and that's why it's so vitally important that you pick up that phone at 800-270-8642, just $15 a month. If you do it right now, we have a Bucks VIP package where you and some buddies, we'll put you in the running for this, club level seats, Bucks, Panthers, parking pass, pregame sideline credentials, pirate ship passes, autograph football. Did I mention the Bucks cheerleaders are answering the phones? Also want to thank our friends at Clear Channel Outdoor answering the phones. So it's very important that we get those phones ringing. Every time you hear that phone ring in the background, it's literally a miracle. It's literally somebody stepping up and helping save the life of a child.
And I want to stress that it's so amazing when you walk in here and to sit here with you guys that it doesn't feel like a sad hospital environment. And the way you talk about it almost like it's a fun place to come visit. What is it like for you when you have to walk in these doors? It's not depressing. It's not sad.
It's not really at all. I'm excited to see, all the nurses that I've been with for the past almost 8 months, and just to be able to see everyone that I know. It's very comforting.
Now, what's next for you? Do you have to make major changes in your life? I imagine, a lot of athletics are out the window. So maybe chorus and singing, designing.
She's good at designing.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm not in school. I'm just doing virtual. But in January, I'm really excited to go back to Calvary. And then I actually may be able to start athletics. I could maybe do like a little bit of lacrosse or a little bit of soccer, but it's obviously minimal and you can't I can't, do the full game, but I can do a little bit or just sit on the sideline. So I'm very excited to go back and start something new.
That's pretty amazing. Years ago, someone had a heart transplant, and it was pretty much a sedentary life. You weren't going to get to do hardly anything. And now,
assuming you survived, by the way.
And now, not only have you been through 2, but you're talking about doing athletics next year. And that's just incredible. And I think it's a testimony to the wonderful, amazing work that Johns Hopkins All Children's does, and that your money is helping pay for. It is making changes. Over the past 9 years, major changes have been made since we've been doing this Radiothon.
It's decision time. Are you the person that's going to pick up the phone and guarantee that kids continue to get saved? Or are you just going to keep driving down the road and go about your life and take things for granted? That's what we're about to find out. 1-800-270-8642. 1-800-270-8642. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back from Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital on US 1035.